So ARK Additions has just introduced the new Acrocanthosaurus and you are looking to tame one. There's a couple of things you need to know first, such as that they spawn in the redwoods, the grasslands, and on Carnivore Island. There are two types of acros that can spawn, the regular vanilla one and the ascended Acrocanthosaurus. These two are the exact same, they have the same stats, the same taming, etc, etc. The ascended one is just a cosmetic variant with slightly different markings, especially around the face and a bit around the body. Otherwise they are the total same. The ascended one has a 10% chance to spawn instead of the regular one. The acro can also spawn with babies, so you can just kidnap a baby instead of taming it. And in the mod files, or you may have seen in other people's videos, the savage and paleo variants do exist. They're not currently implemented. If you tried to spawn them, they just won't work as intended. So currently it is only the regular and the ascended. Ignore savage and paleo. Now to the actual taming itself. The way you tame the Acrocanthosaurus is you gotta basically beat it into submission and drug it by force feeding it narcotics in its mouth while it does its enraged roar. And then once you've done this song and dance multiple times and you force fed it enough torpidity to knock out the acro, then it's just a simple exceptional kibble or mutton, prime, raw meat, etc. Typical carnivore tame with a bit of narcotics. It does have a slight drain, not too much, but not too little either. You will need to narc it if you're playing on official taming rates ×1, but otherwise it is quite a straightforward tame after it's been knocked out. So the way this works is, ideally, the intended way to tame the acro is to keep on shooting it, preferably with a pump action of any decent quality. You want to keep on shooting it until it enters shield stance, and that's when you're doing it correctly. And you keep on shooting it even more until it tries to roar at you, to which you then run up to its mouth and hit the E key where it will use any narcotics or biotoxin in your 0 slot key. When you do that, it'll fully heal the acro, interrupt its roar, give a really cool looking choke animation, because I imagine biotoxin tastes kinda gross, and it'll give it a bunch of torpidity, and you gotta rinse and repeat this process. Now, do be warned, there are fake roars that will fake you out, and you really gotta pay attention to the animation and to the sound effects because it is very vivid, but it can easily bait you. So when it does a fake roar, the way to deal with this is to carry on shooting it while walking away. But you can't walk too far away because if you shoot it too much and trigger the next intended roar, the enraged roar that you want to force feed it during, but you've ran too far away from when it was doing its fake roar, you might not get there in time. So it's a bit of a dance to this, and it's gonna be hard, especially on a high level primitive gear. You're definitely gonna want that quality pump action. But with a bit of practice, you can definitely do it, and I will confidently say that this is my new favorite taming strategy. The Acrocanthosaurus, to tame it the way it was intended, is exhilarating, challenging, and really, really fun. Now, you don't have to use bullets. You can trap it, as seen in ARK Survival Evolved. You can also use dinosaurs to deal the appropriate damage as well. There are different strategies. I myself use a herbivore to tank the damage and then dismount to feed it in between. You can do the strategies, but I do actually want to say that doing it the intended way on foot is so much more fun and it feels so much more rewarding. Not to mention it actually behaves the way it's intended to. And again, it's so much more fun. Now, two other things to bear in mind of acro taming is that previously the feed hitbox is too large and you can force feed it multiple times in a single roar. Both of these are unintended and are going to get fixed. So the intended way to tame it, once everything's ironed out and finished, is that you can only force feed it once per roar and only around its mouth or its head hitbox. It's supposed to be, you know, jamming biotoxin in its throat, not like in its crotch. So if you're currently spamming feeds in a single roar, get ready, that's getting fixed. Another thing getting fixed is the lack of healing during adrenaline. If you remembered my previous video, I called the acro a glass cannon. I was horribly wrong. It turns out healing was just straight up bugged at the time. It is now fixed, so acro self-healing during adrenaline is indeed working, and that just makes everything so much better. Now, one quick thing I'd like to cover is the damage dealt by the acro. I've seen a little bit of debate that the acro is apparently weaker than the rex, so I'm just going to go ahead and test it. I've got 3 level 1s. I've got a rex, a evo tyrannosaurus, and a new Acrocanthus. They're all level 1 with 0 points in melee, so bog standard, and I've got a unsaddled diplo and unsaddled otter. The reason why I have the otter is because the acro deals bonus damage to creatures of a smaller size class, whereas to a large creature it should do just normal damage. So let's just quickly compare then. So I'll try first with a regular vanilla rex, and this deals 89 damage to the diplo and 77 damage to the otter. The new eocarcharia, with just a default left-click bite attack, deals 89 damage to the Diplo and 77 damage to the Otter, so the exact same as the Vanilla Rex. Now then, for the Acro, this deals 69 damage to the Diplo, so it is less, but bearing in mind that during Adrenaline, the Acro's left-click bite attack gets progressively faster, so it surpasses the lower damage in raw attack speed. But it deals 266 to the Otter, and that can make it really powerful for boss fights and a tech cave, because anything of a lower weight class of a pretty large creature means it's going to do that much extra damage compared to the 77 of the Rexes. That 266 is going to make a big difference. So between the damage bonus to smaller targets and the attack speed during Adrenaline, the Acro does do a lot more damage than the Rex. Okay, and for the rest of the video, I'm just going to play out my successful attempt of knocking out the Acro. This is with a 150 in just full primitive gear, so you could do better. My taming attempt is not perfect, but that's a good thing because it means that you get to see exactly how everything plays out, the success, the errors, all the different rules and the way I responded to them. I'm not going to talk, I'm just going to play it out in case for some people that's better, you won't be distracted by my voice. And otherwise, thank you for watching, I hope this has been helpful. Please enjoy the actual process itself.